What's up, you guys? It's Zamara, and I am back with another one of my awesome videos. And today, I wanted to talk about stuff that I just simply don't understand. And to tell you the truth, part of what inspired this video is stuff like politics. So don't be surprised if you hear me mention a few of those, which let's get started. Something I don't get is why there is such a thing as people who are more privileged than others. Like, seriously, what does it even mean to be a privileged person? I mean, I do know what it means, like the unfair aspect of it, but I just want to know why it exists, and better yet, why we have allowed for such a thing to exist for so long. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There's no reason, no excuse as to why that should be acceptable. So I cannot tolerate that thing. And it's annoying because it's like the same quality of stuff that every human being does doesn't mean that everybody obtains the same value and result from it. You know, it's it's even weird to talk about it. So, because it doesn't make sense. So, at any rate, um, another thing, while we're on that note of performing tasks, why some people are hired for certain positions at jobs even though they're incompetent. Like, just because you have a degree or just because you completed I don't know how many hours of what, you are automatically granted like a pass to a good position, even if you don't know what you're doing, and even if your focus is not what your position demands, and it's not what you're specialized in. And then some people wonder why the state of some, let's say, organizations are so poor. I mean, duh. Why would you want to hire someone who's not ready for that? You know? I would rather reject someone who has a really impressive resume over a person who may not have that much of a good experience, but they know where they're standing. And they can prove worthy of holding such a position because they're passionate about it, not because they completed some studies that have nothing to do with what the position is asking, but yet you're going to let them have it just because they are more prestigious in the sense that they have that coursework on them. I don't know if that made sense, but it's just some stuff that I have learned along the way. Another thing is, why don't people unite? Why don't we come together and do stuff like, I don't know, group economics and just all talents, all ideas, just bring them together and create good stuff out of it. But everybody seems to be so dispersed and so lost in their own little thing. And that's why I believe productivity is on the drop. It's not that hard to figure out. I mean, we are social creatures. We're supposed to be working together, and that's the last thing that we're doing. But anyway, additionally, while we're talking about jobs, why is it that it's acceptable to be exploited? You know, because let's face it, a lot of us work hours that should be enough to sustain yourself, at least independently. And it seems like the longer that your shifts get, the less you make. And not only that, you don't even count with what you supposedly earned because a lot of that gets taxed. And then it's pretty disgusting to see the investment they're doing with that tax money. I don't think anybody is truly okay with that. And If they're going to take money without my permission and approval, I should at least have a say as to where it goes. Like, establish a certain percentage that no matter what is going to be taken from you. And then let me choose where it goes. I know if we look at it in the millions, some stuff is going to be impacted more than others. But trust me, people aren't stupid. For the most part, those of us who don't have that much power, we know what we need and what works for us. So you can trust me when I say that those funds would go to where they need to go. And additionally, while we're on the note of economics, why is it that healthy foods have to be so expensive? It almost seems like there's a form of population control or something going on to where they want to make you sick to get rid of you, and make the stuff that keeps you healthy more pricey, and then get you sick so that you have to miss work and then go to the doctor. That's another bill, and you're just paying and paying and paying. That's how you live your life, paying, making money that you don't get to invest in yourself, but somebody else is expecting it from you, just for you to live with the bare minimum. That shouldn't make sense to anybody. Nobody should be okay with that. But that's the reality of a lot of us. And at any rate, also, why are there beggars and homeless people, and most are completely healthy but not working? Like, let me tell you a story. Well, I'm not going to say the story, but I was once homeless. I once didn't have anywhere to go. But that didn't stop me from looking for a place to be employed at and make at least some money. I was able to do it. Why isn't it that the folks who look just like me aren't doing it either? Unless you have an obvious handicap situation, that I can understand. But when you appear to be healthy and you have all four limbs, and you're not blind, you're not, you know what I'm saying? It's like the folks who are supposed to be challenged still go about their business, and the folks who just don't seem to have a real reason as to why they're in that situation, they're not going out and doing something. So that's one of those things I just simply cannot understand. And then, while we're on the note of work still, why is it that hard manual labor is not really that well compensated? It's like you have to do physical jobs, right? But then some people who just use their brain and are sitting behind a desk, and I just think that the distribution of wealth is just wrong. And not only that, but some forms of work are not being paid right. Because let's face it, imagine if you didn't have the folks running, say, gas stations, customer service desks, everywhere. Imagine if everybody decided, okay, I'm gonna finish high school and I'll go to college, and after that I am only accepting positions that go with what my degree is about. Who out there is thinking, oh, I'm going to get a degree to become a cashier? Nobody, right? So all of these companies who provide our goods, what's going to happen with them? Who's going to run them? So for those people who are always pushing people to go get their education, that's fine. But we're always going to need that labor. So imagine if everybody was able to make it with their dreams and their degrees and all that. I still think that wouldn't solve problems. And I guess I should make a separate video on that too, because it's something that I like to discuss and I don't get to very often. And then, why can't we be equal physically? Like, write with both hands, pedal with both feet, and muscle imbalances. Like, you can tell that my right arm, I guess, is bigger than my left arm. And I trained them both equally. Like, I try to grip on weights when I'm lifting with the same amount of force and pressure on both arms, but yet my left, of course, doesn't develop at the same rate. And, I can understand why we couldn't write with both hands because we're not training them at the same time. But it's like, for me, it's impossible to write with my left. No matter how much I practice, no matter how hard I tried, it's just physically impossible for me to properly hold a pencil with my left hand. So I always thought that was interesting, and I don't understand why that's the way it needs to be. And on the note of pedals, I play the piano, and I have tried to press down the pedal with my left, and it's different. It's very weak. And when I'm driving, I have tried to brake with my left leg with the same amount of control that I do with my right leg or right foot, sorry. I just can't do it. My left leg applies too little pressure for the vehicle to slow down adequately. And then if I apply more pressure, I simply cannot control, like, not stopping violently. It's like there's no such thing as braking in the same manner that I do with my right foot. Anyway, and then, why people try so hard to be someone they're not? That's pretty self-explanatory. It's like, for me, no matter what, I'm the same. And if anything, I will make changes for myself to save a situation and to make things better, either for myself or for the parties involved. But, I still don't lose my persona. I still don't lose who I am. I'm still going to be humble. It's like, for instance, if I were to advance in my job and I get a position that grants me more authority, I'm not going to lose my humble origins, I'm going to be the same. I'm still going to joke with everybody the same way. I'm still going to address everybody the same way. And I just don't see why I need to change. And then, why do people have to be mean online? Like, I'm sure you don't act like that in real time. So why would you use this medium to show a darker side of yourself? Because you think you're not going to get caught? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I've never done it, and I've never had the necessity to do it, and I will not do it. Because, like, I just thought of something. When I get on Twitter, and I see all these people replying to celebrities, calling them mommy and daddy and dad and mom, do you seriously go up to strangers and say that too? No, right? So treat the online world the same. Like, just don't be mean in there. It's okay to play around, but if it's clear that you're harassing someone because of their status, it's just not nice at any rate. And then, why the gas prices have to fluctuate so much? Like, yeah, I understand that it all depends on the barrel and all that, but it seems random because, like, let's say today gas may be $1.99. Tomorrow it can be $1.93. And then by Friday it can be $1.89. Only for Saturday to arrive, and it's $1.95. And I know that people are more likely to travel during the weekend, but it's weird. And then this idea was given by my boyfriend, and he has a very good point, which is, why is it that in life you study hard and work hard for somebody else? Like you spend a lot of your time getting ready, through studying, let's say an average of 6 extra years after high school. And then you join an organization and you're working hard, but for someone else, for someone else's dreams. That makes no sense. It should be everyone can live comfortably at their own pace and not working just aggressively and violently and endlessly, and not even ever have a taste of the status that those who we work under enjoy. And they are same as us, they are made of flesh and blood and bone, and have the same necessities that we do. Yet they have that privilege that I started this chapter with. Anyways, you guys, I know this wasn't a very fun topic, but it's just something that I felt the need to just put out there because it consumes my mind from time to time, and I think that it can create a very interesting discussion. So what are your thoughts? Please share them. I love reading inputs from you guys. And until then, see you soon, and thank you so much for watching.